Hello, Bronco Nation. We are 11-1. How's it feel?
Feels great.
And we are live following the post-game presser, which that was pretty cool. We got to see Maddox Madsen, Ahmed Hassanin, and then Spencer Danielson talking about just this year, this game, and moving ahead to what is really looking like a UNLV rematch because, my goodness, last time I checked, it's 16-3 Utah State.
Yeah, Colorado State's kind of flailing here to end the season for sure.
Well, so Chase, you can't see, I can't see. You can. How many viewers do we have with us?
One.
Excellent. I think it's just Chris.
We just started. Yeah. See what happens.
Just start.
We'll get there. I put it out on it's on YouTube, Twitter, and what else?
Excellent.
And Facebook. So it should up to 3 now. So
we're there. We go. Because honestly, the first, as people start to trickle in, I just want to get everyone's hype meter. It really depends on how long you've been a fan. I've only been on this bandwagon, I guess, since my freshman year, 2011. So my hype meter, it's got to be close to if not at 2014 levels.
Yeah, it's up there. It's interesting. Obviously, there's been some close games. But I thought outside of a couple plays, Boise State really played well today.
This was our best game since San Diego State. And I think Danielson said, hey, we took 6 points instead of 14. You turned some of those field goals into touchdowns. And I'm not even that bothered by the field goals, really. They took points. It was a little bit conservative, but it's just take the points, keep on separating, keep on pushing them. Oregon State got a little bit going on offense, especially there at the end. They were getting some chunk plays there, but
yeah, for sure. Well, we're back in prevent defense, and that kind of stuff happens,
But what really wasn't enough to. I mean, I think the only time I felt a little squirmy there was when they first pulled within 9, and we gave it right back to them, and we were kind of shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit, and I started to feel a little squirmy. But otherwise, this game was all Broncos. Really was.
Yeah, for sure. And just kind of looking at the stats just right off the bat. So Hankerson, he ended up with 110 rushing yards, right? He's their running back. Let's see here. They had 117 rushing yards on the game. 83 of them came on that one run by him in the second quarter.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Outside of a couple plays, Boise State really dominated. We've talked about the secondary is what it is, right? It is what it is.
They had a better game today.
They did. McCoy made some plays. He looked good out there.
Yeah. And you know what? He did something that no other Boise State DB has done for the last 4 years, and he turned his head. That was huge.
Yeah, no, for sure.
He nearly had 2 picks.
Yeah, well, and he was just kicking himself each time after he dropped them.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
One of them
was probably a pick six. One of them was probably a pick six.
I saw Devon Banks in there. He got banged up, but then he did come back. He played a nice, quiet game. He didn't really get picked on a whole lot. That was a good game for him. We didn't hear Ty Benefield's name called. I mean, we saw him on the field, but I don't think I heard his name called once, which is honestly a fabulous sign.
Yeah.
Rodney Robinson once again was really good at helping in the run game, making some tackles there.
No, for sure. Let's see. Joshua says, "Woot woot, let's go BSU." Right, and that's a good vibe check right there. I like that.
That's a great vibe check. I'm pretty. This is a great. I keep thinking it's Saturday. This is a great Friday, not morning anymore.
I know,
but I'm so thrown for a loop right now with the holiday and everything, and a 9 a.m. kickoff out here.
Yeah, oh yeah. Chris says woohoo.
Yeah,
and then, another good vibe check. And then he says Randolph and Carrion being back helped a lot. Yeah, wasn't it good to see Randolph out there?
It was, and I made a few quick notes for some talking points for us. So I guess we can just get right into it.
Yeah.
Our offensive line, it looks untrained eye, but it looks like they're running with rotations, and I actually really like that because we got Randolph and Zach Holmes. So those guys are kind of taking turns on drive to drive, or at least they did this game. Mason
Yeah.
Rudolph is the starter, but he's coming back off injury. How close to 100% is he? We don't know. So
Well, yeah, and carry on his second game back. Sorry to interrupt you here. He looked better. He still had that one holding call, which first look I was kind of mad about that, but the second look it was a hold. But he was definitely had a quicker step, lighter feet. He was definitely kind of working his way back into it. And I think that's what they're doing with Randolph too, right? Like you don't necessarily needed him today, but getting those game reps and prep for next weekend is I think was huge.
I'm pretty sure those are two guys that we did not have for UNLV last time. I know we didn't have carry on. I can't remember when Randolph went down, but two guys who make a huge difference on that O line, getting them back. Like I felt like carry on outside of that hold, he was an absolute mauler. He was like lighting it up, making space for Genty to right. Like I don't think I saw Genty get hit in the backfield nearly as often as in recent games, and that's Roger Carry-on effect.
Well, and when you watch a football game, you pay attention to the ball. Like, where's the ball? Where's the ball? You don't really pay attention to the O-line. But whenever I made a mental note to see the O-line and pay attention to them, Carry-on was putting dudes in the dirt. Like he was pancaking. He is a nasty O-lineman. He's the type of guy you want on your team.
He's a future NFL guy. I just remember when he signed, he was a very low 3-star. I think he had an 80 even, and they called him the Great Wall of New Mexico. And I was like, that's awesome. And I was like, how is this kid like ranked so low? You look at like all the physical traits that he has. It's like, how is he so lowly ranked? And then he played as a true freshman, but he only played, I believe, in 2 games. First time I saw him was against New Mexico, and he has just blossomed. He's now what, a redshirt sophomore?
Yeah, and he came out of a small school, right? An area that's not really like Jal or Jal. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. So just for fun, his name is in Spanish is Rogelio Carreon. Like he's Rogelio's Roger, and it's good to have him back. And I guess my point is going back to you're saying he was a low 3-star. Probably because of, I don't know if they played 8-man football. Regardless, it was from a small school, but he was Mr. Do Everything there. So
the other rotation I kind of want to point to is I saw Hall and Matoyer. Like they were like almost trading drive to drive. Like I don't know what the health of Hall is right now, but Dalen is pretty fresh. I would assume, like again, I haven't seen him on any injury report, so I'd assume he's a little bit more fresh. That's huge. That's going to be huge for the health of this offensive line. And then throughout the game, as you're wearing down that defensive line, to be able to like sub out offensive linemen and just continue to maul.
For sure. It's good to keep those guys fresh, keep those guys healthy. Let's see. ¿Quieres que hable más español en esta broadcast? I can Spanish all day.
You're taking me back.
See what Josh has. Left some touchdowns on the field, other than the D with the missed tackle in secondary. McCoy saved us for sure, even though he let a couple long ones.
I didn't really see a whole lot of whiffs for tackling. I thought tackling was a lot cleaner today. I mean, sure, it's a college game. You're going to have some missed tackles, but I didn't see a whole lot of whiffs.
Yeah, not a ton of whiffs. I feel like they tackled pretty well. Yeah, I mean, with the amount of times teams test Boise State secondary, because on film and what we've seen, that's kind of the weakness. You're going to let a few go. I mean, just the number of volume. How many passes did Goldbrinson? He threw 37 passes today.
Yeah. How many yards did he get?
226.
Hey, banner day for the secondary.
That's not too bad. Yeah, McCoy saved a couple of them. Yeah, and again, his first comment, they left some touchdowns on the field for sure. Couple of field goals, then that 1 4th down they didn't get. That's 20, potentially 21 points that they should have gotten instead of 6. But I
was okay with them going for that 4th down there. Do wish, I don't know, like stack, maybe do something a little bit more creative, but whatever.
Yeah.
Like there was definitely a lull, and I think like I could kind of see everyone going on their emotional roller coaster on Twitter during the lull. If we're not just constantly beating down on a team, these things happen. But the closest Oregon State came all game, was only being down 7. And then after that, we went up right before halftime, 21-7. The closest they got all game was a 2-possession game. Like, that is a pretty comfortable lead. That's a pretty comfortable game where we were able to, if we wanted to, we could pretty much just grind it down. To be honest, like, going away from the run game and the failed 4th down, but look, my biggest grievance about this offense was the dropped passes.
2 of them probably could have gone for touchdowns. I think they were both camper, right? One, there was a guy trailing him a little bit, but both of them could have gone for touchdowns. So
Bolt had a drop in the end zone.
Yep, he did.
So I don't know if that's 2 or if that's 3, but that just some bad drops today. Like, if those guys make those catches, then we're talking about a San Diego State type of game for Maddox Madsen.
Yeah.
Who was great with his feet.
No, he did good. And I think we first saw that this season at UNLV the first time we played UNLV, and he kind of doesn't show that a ton, but he took off and made some plays with his feet for sure. He's smart. He's a savvy player out there.
Yeah. Now I'm just wondering, because it's really looking like it's going to be UNLV. I'm wondering how they scheme for that one linebacker in particular that is the linchpin of the UNLV defense.
Woodard guy?
Yeah, Woodard.
Because last time he was kind of the spy, right? He spied quite a bit. They had some other guys when they needed him to drop back in pass coverage. But he's the guy on that defense that really makes everything go.
Yeah.
He really is.
I honestly think that you might finally start to see a little bit of a different game plan, because this is round 2 against a team that knows what we're trying to do. We're banged up but getting healthier. We could see some tweaks. We could finally see a little trickeration in there. Who knows? Weird things happen on the blue.
No, for sure. And today, again, it felt like a fairly vanilla offensive game plan.
Yeah. Very vanilla.
Even a little bit defensively. There are a couple blitz. I saw what's his name? Number 0. Why am I trying to blank? He blitzed a couple of times.
Benefield,
yeah.
Yeah.
He blitzed a couple of times, but overall it was a pretty straightforward rush 5. Every now and then throw a blitzer in there. But yeah, and offensively, again, let's run up the middle. Every now and then pop it outside. But I really enjoy seeing the stuff Cutter calls. So this is going on Joshua's comment. The offense had an amazing game in his eyes.
Yeah.
Cutter can call plays like he's coached in the NFL for a long time. I mean, some of those, the way he gets guys in motion and the tight ends leaking out off motion and Capel's coming out, and some of those pick plays, right, that sometimes don't get called pick plays. It's just smart however the receiver plays it. He's calling an NFL type game out there.
Yeah.
So,
and how did you feel about that pitch play at the end?
Finally, right? Everyone's been screaming we got to get the ball to Genty on the outside, Yeah.
I mean, it worked. I think Cutter might have shot himself in the foot a little bit there, because it worked.
Yeah. Well, and if you think about it, I think Genty had about 60 yards that got taken away from penalties.
So, yeah, that's right. Real quick, what are we at? What's our viewership count at right now?
We're at 20 live views and 1 Facebook like.
Oh, okay, that's Chris.
He's watching on Facebook.
All right, well, viewers, first comment or put your comments in that chat box right there. Any questions or stuff that you want us to discuss, but also what I want to know is what is your hype meter right now? Where are you guys at? What does it feel like? For me, it feels close to my senior year from my undergrad, 2014. We're going to the Fiesta Bowl. That's the hype level I feel right now. Where are you guys at right now? Actually, Chase, I don't think I got an answer out of you. Where's your hype meter at right now?
My hype is, man, was it 2014? Is that when you talked about when Grant Hedrick triumphantly led us to a Fiesta Bowl victory with, after the Air Force debacle and losing to Ole Miss at the beginning of the year? I feel that. It's the hype is there, but I feel, I don't want to say reluctant, but kind of relaxed in the hype.
Okay, so is it more like a 2016, 2019, or trying to think. Some more recent teams that were successful where you're just like
close, we're right there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I'm kind of a jinx guy, right? I believe in jinxes and all that sort of stuff. So I feel everything's right there in front of Boise State that the team wanted. All the goals are there, but you just gotta avoid the roller coaster, right? Don't get too high, don't get too low. No, what does Chris Peterson always say? Nothing's ever as good as it seems, or ever as bad as it seems. That's kind of the train I'm riding right now.
And winning is hard.
Winning is hard.
And these guys just went on a huge run. We haven't lost a game since Oregon, and they just ran the table for the rest of their schedule. Like that is beautiful.
10 wins in a row?
That the whole reason I didn't say 10 wins in a row is because I'm like, is that 10? I think it was 10.
Yeah.
Like, what a run for this team. And, like, personally, I really wish we could end the season with Colorado State. And it's not even, like, I think it's an awesome rivalry we have with UNLV, but we already played them. We already beat them. Yeah. I want to see Colorado State so we can finally, like, exercise those demons a little bit from last year, really avenge that game for this senior class. That's more, like, is it an easier game than UNLV? Probably. Well, I mean, actually,
record-wise, they're 7-4 right now, losing by 10 to Utah State. So
hey, they're making a little comeback. We have a question finally.
Here we go. Let's see what we got.
Oh, wrong one.
Oh.
From Chris Coatney. Moving into the Pac-12, do you foresee any of the top guys within the Pac-12 trying to transfer to Boise State? Weirdly enough, I had that thought during the final few minutes of the Oregon State game when I think Brando was going over about how much of a mess Oregon State was this offseason when Jonathan Smith took off to Michigan State.
Took a bunch of players.
Yeah. I was kind of wondering, like, are there going to be guys who kind of see the success, see like almost where, I don't know, where things are going, and do they decide to kind of jump ship a little bit? I don't know. That's hard. It's a hard thing to say because, like, Oregon State's getting a little shot in the arm here with the resurrection of the Pac-12, but it almost feels like they're limping in. Whereas, like, at the Washington State, even though they kind of end their season on a whimper, they are a much more put together program at this state right now.
For sure. And to kind of echo your point, I don't know if I see any Pac-2, any of those players from those guys transferring out, but I think you will see through the transfer portal and from high school, Boise State definitely getting a bump in some of those recruiting. Boise State's always had a great recruiting classes and gotten some of those top fringe guys, like may start at Pac-12, may not. But I think you'll see the who they get bump up a little bit, and even from the transfer portal, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And the
not necessarily from Oregon State or Washington State, but from other schools.
Yeah. And the CFP era has made recruiting, I don't want to say easier for Boise State, but it's created an opportunity. And with the transfer portal where Boise State has a very clear path to getting into that CFP. And that was the big thing this offseason where we got guys because they wanted to come in, they wanted to compete, but also for that opportunity to play in the CFP that you're not necessarily going to get at a low-level Power 4 program.
Yeah.
Or, to be honest, outside of like 4 Group of 5 programs, you're just not going to get.
Yeah. Well, and outside of, your top programs, your Ohio States, your Alabamas, those guys are going to reel in the 5 stars and 4 stars like no one's business, right?
Yeah.
And as you're talking about, maybe those mid to lower P4 schools, your Minnesotas, stuff like that. Boise State could definitely go in and
hey, they won Paul Bunyan's axe today.
They did. I saw that. Yeah. Compete a little bit more against some of those schools for these recruits. So
now, while we're talking about recruiting, because I see you're about to move on to the next question. So I think it's going to be Wednesday is the early signing day.
Yep, Wednesday, December 4th.
Yeah, so early signing day is going to be really interesting. As of right now, there's no news on any like flips or whatnot. I know there's been a lot of discussion on like different offers to see
Mhm,
if like people stay pat in their commitment or if they flip. And so right now, all I would say is that no news is good news,
mhm,
and we'll just have to wait and see. Just going off gut instinct and purely nothing else, I would expect all pretty much the whole class to sign on. Do you know if it's is it Wednesday or Tuesday?
it's Wednesday. Yep,
Wednesday.
it's the
Okay.
first Wednesday in December is when the early signing period
Yeah.
starts.
I I wouldn't expect too many surprises. I'd actually be interested to see if we surprise and land maybe a few flips on on signing
Mhm,
day or
yeah,
whatnot. And then Chase, one more question before we move on to Joshua's.
uh-huh.
The transfer portal, when does that open up again?
Great
Do you
question.
know off the top of your head?
So I know when a coach is fired,
And we're headed into Black Monday.
yeah, it opens for a 30-day period. College football transfer portal. Let me look at this here.
Yeah, because Chris, if you're still watching, that's also something to really take an or follow.
Okay,
Follow
here we go.
closely.
The transfer portal will open Monday, December 9th and close on
Ooh,
December 28th.
ooh,
Okay,
that's
so
going to be tough
yeah, that'll
because
be interesting.
so Boise State, if we're now looking at a pretty much a play-in game.
Yeah.
Um, so if we win and we make it into the playoff, I honestly don't think you see very much activity in the transfer portal in that window because they're going to be focused on one thing, and that's like whatever if we get a whoever we play in the playoff.
Oh, here, hold on here. Athletes on teams that compete in the college football playoff and later bowl game will be allowed to enter an additional 5-day transfer portal window in January after the portal closes.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think just like every single team, we'll see guys hit the portal. Like there's guys who are going to be buried on the depth chart. You're going to see maybe one person you wouldn't have thought or
Mm-hmm.
one or two, but like just like every team, we'll see guys hit the portal. But
Well, and especially with the scholarship limit up to 105 now. Like I don't know what Boise State's financial situation is with that, but teams can load up on dudes, and then after some of those dudes sit, maybe next year the transfer portal is even busier.
yeah,
You know?
that's it's going to be wild. Like teams that have maybe more of a shoestring budget, kind of like us, but
Yeah.
we're just gonna have to wait and see. I feel like we have the exact right leadership to handle this moment. We've got
Mhm.
Dickey landing huge donation after huge donation. We have a kind of bustling, booming city of Boise that's ready for championship football again
Yeah.
and really getting behind this team with the right leadership. So there's money or donations to be had.
The
So I
money
don't
in
know.
the valley is there for sure. The money is there. It's just got to be tapped the right way,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, for sure.
And going back to your point, I did see that our running back commit Brendan Haygood is on an official visit to Missouri this weekend.
I thought he already took that.
Nope, he
I was,
tweeted this morning that he's there.
oh,
So,
all right. Well, something to
oh,
watch
or it's
for.
an unofficial and he took the official earlier. I'm not sure, but he is there. So that's, I know he visited Virginia Tech. So that's an interesting one. I would imagine if you're a highly rated running back recruit and you look what Ashton Genty's done, Boise State's a spot you want to go hang out, but I don't know.
Look at what Ashton Genty has done, but also look at like the last 20 some odd years of
Mhm.
Boise State running backs. This has been an absolute factory. And then look who we've got on the roster. Like, look who you're going to get to play with. Like,
Yeah.
that's it's just
Mick
going to keep on
Nichols is
turning.
still in the NFL. He's playing for the Commanders.
Alexander Madison. I can't
Yeah.
believe like I was listing off names and I just skipped Alexander Madison. There were so many names. Somehow that was a huge flub by me. But like
Yeah. No
Alexander
worries.
Madison's still in the NFL. Jay
We'll
Ajayi.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
You never know.
But I guess we can move on
Yeah.
to Joshua's question.
Do we have any
Uh,
seniors that have super senior years from COVID? Yes, I know of two.
um,
Staples and Bolt
yeah.
are the two. And Bolt's actually interesting because I think he's only played 3 years. So
he got a medical red shirt.
Yeah, because he broke his leg. Is it his redshirt freshman year? Or
Yeah, I get that was that game against Oregon State.
like right off the bat. So I think he could potentially play 2 more if he wanted to. He'd be Dr. Bolt by the time he leaves Boise State. And I know that Caples did not participate in any senior day stuff today.
Yeah, and Danielson said he's coming back.
Yeah, he's coming back, Bolt, which, losing Camper, losing some of those other guys, that could be good for to have some guys in the offensive receiver room who've played some downs for Boise State.
Mike Prater was saying that they only did the senior day ceremony for 21 of 24 possible, and I am blanking on who the third is who would come back.
Yeah, because there's no way Genty's coming back. He participated, didn't he, or was it only a senior thing?
It's only a senior thing. So Genty has gotten plenty of hype. I don't think he gets, because he's not a senior. I don't think he gets.
He's definitely going to the NFL.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. Like, honestly, I would have very mixed emotions if he decided to come back, because so much wear and tear gets put on your body playing as a running back and doing what he has done this year. You want to see him go and excel at the next level and then get that life-changing money, dude.
Yeah, for sure. There's a limited shelf life running backs have, especially in the NFL. And so there's a lot of tread already on those tires, taken off of those tires with as much as he's carried the ball this year in the last couple of seasons. So go get that money, pad that bank account, Ashton Genty.
Yeah.
And we'll be rooting for you when you line up for the 49ers or whatever team is going to draft you.
Ooh. Well, I wish it was the Seahawks, but they've got bigger problems.
It's only interesting because you don't see running backs go top 10, even really top 15 very often.
I'm seeing him mocked in anywhere from, I think the highest I've seen him mocked at was like 18, but then it's typically somewhere like 22 to 30 range, somewhere in there.
Which puts you on a team that's a contender, or at least doesn't suck.
Hey, maybe Kansas City goes and gets him.
He fits so well with that offense. He really would.
Yeah. And I mean, Pacheco's had some injuries.
Yeah, it's
maybe a future Chief.
I just don't want him to go to the Cowboys. Like, I love the Cowboys. Sorry, Chris, if you're listening. My wife's a big Cowboys fan. Jerry Jones is not a great general manager. So.
I think he's a great general manager. Are you kidding me? He's going to extend McCarthy.
Yes.
Keep it up. Somewhere in Boise, Chris is like throwing his phone right now. He's like, guys, stop.
Yeah, he's like cussing in his car as he drives home or something like that. He's letting her rip. Chris, what are your thoughts? I just dissed the Cowboys and Jerry Jones. Hey, speaking of that, hey, let's go to the comments. What's your hot take about Boise State, about whatever? Give us a hot take. What do you got?
I thought you were asking me to come up with a hot take, and I was like,
you too. You can have a hot take too, but I want to see what our
we need Carter for hot takes. I have very lukewarm, mellow takes.
Lukewarm takes.
Yeah, like my takes are like the equivalent of mayonnaise. Like
what's the Duke's Mayo Bowl where they dump mayonnaise on the winning coach? That's amazing.
Oh man. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, give us your hot takes. Give us your hot take on the defense, the offense. What do they need to do better? What do they need to do to beat UNLV? Who do you want to see in the first round of the playoff, assuming that we get that spot? First game, I should say, because I guess the first round of the playoff that we play in might not even be the first round. Like, it could very well be that bye week. And Josh says, since we're talking about the future, do you think I think we have some typos in there.
With secondary, how do they try to fix it? Personnel and leave coaches in place. Man.
Yeah.
I don't want to speculate. I know that they've kind of gone after some JUCO corners and some transfer corners and stuff. There's that big one who visited a few weeks back that you learned about in the corral. They're definitely working. But if you think about it this year, they brought Irby in. They brought Banks in. And it hasn't fixed the issue. So to me, that comes back to coaching. Right, unless you missed on those guys, okay, maybe they weren't as good as we thought they were going to be out of the transfer portal. It could be scheme. It could be, I don't know. There's definitely something amiss. because at times each of these guys have played really well in different moments, right? So maybe it's scheme, it's coaching.
Yeah, I think they honestly got to go back to how they scheme the secondary, how they play. I know Chris has mentioned that one quote from a coach that I'll just leave his name out of it, where recruits come to Boise State or cornerbacks come to Boise State to play man coverage, and they play a lot of man to man, and we get burnt quite a bit because you can only do it if you don't have a consistent pass rush, which at times we have not. Quarterbacks got a lot of time. You can only cover for so long. So I think either change it up, sprinkling a little more zone, improve the pass rush, change the scheme. It's hard. And then, of course, like there's that. I'm not going to say the quiet part out loud, but the coaching personnel could always be shaken up in the off season.
Yeah,
but I will dance around that point.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry, I'm putting on Facebook to have people come join us.
Oh, yeah. What's our count at, by the way?
We're at 19 and then 1 on Facebook.
Whoa.
Oh, Chris,
all right.
Chris is here. Chris, you ready to join us? All right.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
We have a party.
Oh, I see that. How y'all doing?
Doing pretty darn good. How are you?
I just got home from the game, so just settling in.
There we go. Actually, you know what, viewers? Like, I just remembered. Like, I forgot to ask you guys just some fun questions just to get us going. Like, so we just had Thanksgiving yesterday. What's everyone's favorite dish? Like, what did you guys like really chow down on? Who brought like the killer dish?
Didn't Carter go off on this a couple weeks ago when we were talking about
he did
plates?
Because
Carter goes off on a lot of things, guys.
Yeah, it's true.
He did. My sister made a sweet potato souffle that was bomb. Like it was so good. So that honestly, that might have been the star from yesterday. Like, what about you guys? Were you just like just chowing down on turkey or mashed potatoes?
Stuffing for me.
Stuffing, soggy seasoned bread, gross.
Absolutely.
So it's interesting because like over the years I've kind of realized those potatoes and turkey take up a lot of space in your stomach. And I want those sweet potatoes and that green bean casserole. And so I just load up my plate with sides and have a little portion of turkey and a little portion of potatoes.
Oh, there you go.
And just load up on sides. But
yeah.
Just I can't eat stuff. I am celiac, so I can't eat stuffing. So maybe that's why I hate it so much.
Well, Chris, I don't know if you've been listening, but we've kind of gone on about like our biggest complaints of the game where we thought we did really well. What was, you were there? What was your take on everything?
It was nice to see this team feel in control of that game. Against Wyoming and San Jose, it definitely felt like there was some moments where it was slipping away or wasn't. Boise State always felt in control. I thought both lines played better, especially the offensive line. Would have really liked that fourth down at the 2-yard line. Just run the ball twice there, and if you don't get it, then fine. But whatever. Overall, I just love that they were in control. Let's not forget that Oregon State. That's a talented team. That they're often ranked higher than us in recruiting. That's a really good team over there fighting for bowl eligibility. I mean, that their season just ended.
Yeah,
that was the difference between they get one more game or their season's done. That's huge. So they had everything to play for, and the Broncos controlled it, and I love to see that.
Through the TV, the energy felt a lot higher from the team.
Yeah.
And it was steady too, and that was nice to see because it wasn't always pretty, obviously. But
that's what I was about to ask you.
Yeah,
because you were right there. You had a view of the sidelines, the players. Like you're talking about being steady. That was the players, right? Like how was that energy? Like just from the gut, not the fans. Like the Boise State Broncos, what was that like being down there?
It was great. There was times this season, especially against Nevada, where you just felt, and again, I'm not talking about the fans, I'm talking about the players. The air just kind of just, really, like we're doing this again, and it wasn't like that today. This team was ready, they were prepared, they were fired up to play. Senior day has a big difference. I don't think people realize these guys want to win for their senior class, and so the energy was great. Amazing crowd for a 10 o'clock kickoff. Even the students were all there. That's huge. That would not have been the case in years past. So the corral really stepped it up.
These students are way better than my class.
I hate to say it, but that's true, Evan. I'm sorry, but
yeah, my class was awful. They were okay.
It bodes well for next weekend. Didn't they say it's close to a sellout?
Yeah,
over the holiday,
a couple thousand.
It's nice to see a game championship game that's going to be well attended.
Yeah, a couple thousand tickets left, I think I heard.
And that'll be it. Ashton Genty, that'll be it. Last chance.
Last home game.
And I was listening to you guys on the way, and I do have an answer for one of your guys' questions. The other player that has eligibility that did not participate today is Tyler Weegis.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's the transfer from Utah.
Defensive end.
There we go. He's had a banged up career.
Yeah. He had a sack earlier in the year. I forget who it was, Portland State or something. He had a sack from someone.
He's banged up.
He's got plenty of room to grow into a role. He's huge.
Yeah.
But yeah, Tyler Weegis.
And we do have an answer to a turkey with homemade cranberry sauces, but in a roll and go to town.
Ooh. Now, Chris, also, do I pick up a little bit of hoarseness? Were you yelling a lot on the sidelines?
I don't yell. Nope. When I'm a media member, I don't yell. Every once in a while, I can't hold back a fist pump, or an under the breath. Good job. When I'm a media member on sideline, I don't yell. No.
Really?
I don't. I got a little talking to actually at the basketball game about clapping in the media section. You don't do it. So I'm watching my P's and Q's, y'all.
Oh, okay.
You were sick last week, right? You've been under the weather a little bit.
Yeah, not feeling. I'm much better now, but yeah, that was rough there for a little bit. But
well, glad to have you back. Glad to have you on the blue.
Chris, it's funny when I wrote for the newspaper in Pocatello and I covered ISU football. I was the ISU beat writer. There were a couple times they sent me down to BYU to watch the Cougars play because Taysom Hill is from Pocatello, right?
Yeah.
So they sent me down there. A couple times they played Boise State when they sent me. I think it was one time they sent me down there, and so I had to sit in the press box eating my Tucanos, which is what they feed us at the press box at BYU. And I had to keep my trap shut because cheering is not allowed in the press box. Very sterile, pristine press box. You gotta keep it under wraps.
It's one of those unwritten rules. I've learned them mostly without having to get talking to, but that one I had to be educated on. So it was Johnny Ballgame, and I appreciate that. I need to learn that kind of stuff. So.
At least it was him and not an SID that had to come down and razz you a little bit.
Not Jeremiah Dickey.
I think I'd probably get kicked out because I would be hooting and hollering.
You're gonna revoke your credentials. Yeah.
Which I have a video of it and I'll try to have it ready for the podcast. But I think it's so cool. Jeremiah Dickey was in the first quarter down on the sideline for that first offensive drive for Oregon State. And it was standing at the line of scrimmage just as fired up as Spencer Danielson. And I think that's so – I did get video of it. I kind of panned over. I'm sorry, JD. I wasn't trying to spy on you or creep on you. But I just thought it was such a cool thing. Joshua, I tend to agree, but I don't make those rules. But it was just super cool to see Jeremiah Dickey down there. He is a fan. He bleeds blue, and
he's very visible. He's very present. The game I was at against Utah State, he was down there schmoozing people on the sidelines. He's very present.
He schmoozes. He schmoozes very well. But he also cheers. He was down there, almost shoulder to shoulder with the referee. just cheering them on. So it was super cool to see. I did get some really good video of a couple touchdowns. I did hear Evan told me, and my good old mom, hopefully she's watching, told me I was viewable in the background on national television.
Yeah.
So,
on Big Boy Fox, not even FS1, Big Boy Fox.
Yeah. Like
Sorry,
I'm
guys.
just looking, I'm like, is that Chris? These guys fun.
Sorry, national media. You got to see my mug back there. But I got some good video, so we'll try and get that ready for the podcast.
Oh, it's gonna be a good episode.
Oh, yeah. It is. Yeah.
It's gonna be a fun one. Like, think about we started this podcast out and we made our season predictions. I remember I was the negative Nancy. I said 9-3.
Yeah, you did.
But I'll stick up for myself a little bit. After the way we played Oregon, I changed my prediction to 11-1, and here we are. Like, I think, which one of you guys predicted 11-1? Someone else did.
Wasn't me.
I know I did.
You did?
I am a shameless homer for Boise State, guys.
Just not on the sidelines.
Well, and I don't. Nope. And the thing is, and I almost started to not become a fan because I used to be so negative about the team, and it started to kind of wear on me. So I've actually had some people say that I'm overly positive, and it's just because it's just not worth my mental health to be negative.
Yeah, honestly,
me yelling at a camera ain't gonna do any good.
You're describing the last 3 years of Bronco Nation.
I mean, it's not
like new era.
Anything, so why be like that?
I'm with you, Chris. My approach on Twitter changed. Remember when we lost to Fresno State? Was it in overtime when it was snowing?
I was at that game.
And
yes.
Me too. I was on Twitter. It was so negative. I was participating in that, and like I was like, I've got to change my social media habits here, or I'm gonna drive myself crazy. So
honestly, I just there's certain provocateurs. I just blocked them.
Provocateurs, good word.
Yeah.
I'm very quick to the block button, or at least mute. I mute a lot of people. I don't necessarily block a lot of people, but I mute a lot of people just because I just don't need it. I just don't need it. I've got enough stress in my freaking life.
Right.
That's true. Like, there's no need to just lose a lot of sleep over a loss.
Joshua, thank you, sir. That's the positivity we need in our lives right there.
Exactly.
Thank you, sir.
But, I'm trying to going back to our season predictions. I'm trying to remember. I think Carter was pretty bullish on this team, and he might have said 11-1. We might have to check the tape.
Check the tape.
We'll check the tape.
I think I said like 10-2 or 9-3 or something like that. But
yeah, I was specifically worried about Oregon, Washington State, and Oregon State, and that didn't really come to pass. It's just, I mean, everyone predicted the Oregon game, but Washington State, we spanked them, and then it always felt like we were in control of this game, like what Chris said, and this was a very good game, almost an awesome, amazing game, but this was a very good game, very solid.
Josh, you were a couple of Joshua was a couple. Sorry, Chris was a couple of special teams breakdowns against Oregon away from close to his prediction here, 13-0.
Yeah. So let's do a little score update. Colorado did indeed spank Oklahoma State 52-0.
I heard Hunter had a big game. Is that true, guys?
3 touchdowns, I think.
They
were up like 45-0, and they threw to him like a deep bomb for a touchdown.
Of course they did.
Number 14, Ole Miss is just clinging on 17-14 at halftime over Mississippi State in the Egg Bowl.
Things get weird in the Egg Bowl.
Why is it called the Egg Bowl? That's the dumbest name.
Thank you for asking, because I don't know either.
I usually try to, before I ask something on here, I try to have the answer, but I just can't help. I need to know, why is it called an Egg Bowl?
I think Chase is looking up, but
the trophy is a giant golden egg, the rivalry trophy.
Only in Mississippi. Only in Mississippi.
Well, they are ranked 51st in K through 12 education, behind DC. Anyways, Utah State, Colorado State. This is the big one. This is
come on, Colorado State.
Following Utah State is up 16-13 at halftime, meaning Colorado State has kind of put it together after an abysmal first half or early showing. A little Mountain West scoreboard watching. San Jose State up 14-10 on Stanford. I'm actually going to root for Stanford in that game. I've kind of always had an appreciation for that school, so go Cardinal. But
I'll root for San Jose.
Yeah, it looks better for the Mount. I mean, at this point, I don't think it really matters for like that strength of record, strength of schedule, because we're already past it. We're 11-1. Winning, you're in.
There it is.
It's just a football.
Egg bowl it's just a football.
Yeah,
it's just a football.
That's why it's the Egg Bowl.
That's so dumb. Freaking stupid.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, I just wanted to show that to you guys.
I appreciate that. That was some good, quick research there, Chase. That's why you're the pro of the group.
You know.
And then a huge game, like groundbreaking game just went final. Miami of Ohio beat Bowling Green 28-12. What a game.
It's going to be an all-Ohio matchup for the MAC title game. It's Ohio versus Miami, Ohio. So,
ooh, there we go.
They play the game up in Detroit, right? At the Ford Field, I think.
At Ford Field. It looks ridiculous.
Yeah. Do they play it on like a Wednesday at like 10 in the morning?
I think it's like a Friday at like 10 in the morning. They get the crappiest time slot of the
good for them, though. That's better than their Tuesday night in action.
Usually I watch that, but I have not been watching that lately.
No, I cannot.
I'll have it on for background noise sometimes if I'm reading a book or something.
Yeah, no.
Then
are there any games on today? And viewers, feel free to chime in. Is there anything that you guys are excited to watch today? Maybe like besides UNLV, I think that's the low-hanging fruit. But any other games, just scoreboard watching across the country, you guys are interested in watching?
UNLV's tomorrow, isn't it? Did I get that wrong?
It was. Oh, do I have that? Do I have that wrong? I thought it was today.
Yeah, today. I'm not sure.
Let's see.
Obviously, this Utah State Colorado State game is somewhat intriguing. Georgia Tech today. That shouldn't go well.
UNLV Nevada is tomorrow at 5 p.m. My bad, guys. My bad.
The only reason I know is because they asked Danielson if he's gonna watch it tomorrow. So that gives. Let's think about another little edge, guys. That gives Boise State one more day of rest than UNLV.
Oh yeah.
And at home.
Actually, hey, what are the scenarios here for the Mountain West Championship game? Because Colorado State wins, UNLV loses. It's Colorado State. But what if both teams lose?
It goes to our ranking.
Highest ranked team, which will be UNLV.
Okay.
Higher ranked.
And so if UNLV wins, they're in.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Colorado State has to win and hope for a UNLV loss.
Which again, I kind of want. I think it's a better game. Boise State UNLV is a better game. It's a more emotionally charged game, but I just want to give these seniors one more crack at Colorado State, just to really exercise those demons from last year. That's what I, the fan, want to see. Like, I've already seen UNLV, kind of been there, done that. I just want to
Guys, I was in Las Vegas for my little sister's wedding last year on that Boise State at Colorado State game, and I'm laying in bed ready to go to sleep like, oh, man, we got this game in the bag. We're good to go. This is awesome. I did not sleep that night.
Yeah, and, well, real quick, Josh has a great question. That's why I said, but
Georgia Tech tonight. Joshua, I like that one.
Yeah. So we got a good question because Tim Brando said on the broadcast that it was going to be Nate Potter, who's the next OC. I don't think Brando has any inside info. I think he was just kind of like maybe.
I saw that tweet and was like, "What?"
That's not a logical like ladder step or move for Boise State. I don't.
Yeah,
I could see it actually.
He's been the tight ends coach, right?
He's the tight ends coach, but he is the running game coordinator and handles most of the running game. And have a pretty good running game. I think Nate Potter would be fine. I still think it's going to be Steve Cooper, the quarterback coach.
Yeah,
I agree.
But I would be fine with Nate Potter. I try not to talk trash on here, but I don't want Matt Miller.
No.
I could see Potter keeping his co-OC, giving like a co-OC thing with the running backs, as you said, the running game, and letting Cooper call the plays game day, but prepper for the week. Those two kind of 1A and 1B.
I've been very impressed with Potter. I do think it's going to be Steve Cooper. He's got Cutter's endorsement. I don't think Matt Miller. They might give him an interview out of respect.
Yeah, you have to, I think, but I don't.
No,
wasn't he the OC at Montana State under Choate?
He was.
Yeah. So he does have experience. Good. They were good. That's the Genty the Warrior. Yep. I think whoever the OC is for Boise State next year, the offense is going to look different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Maybe not as run heavy. You're still going to have some good backs. Maybe not as run heavy. Plus, you'll have Madsen, who's another year seasoned under his belt. So
I'd love to find someone who has that kind of creativity that Bush Hamden brought last year. I thought Bush cooked all year long. I was not surprised to see him jump ship because, like, hey, where's Bush Hamden? He's out interviewing for his next job. That's what he does. Like, he's probably going to take off from Kentucky and go to, I don't know, some other school that he'll leave in a year. Like, that's just going to be what he does.
I love Mike Sanford, but I get kind of similar vibes from him. Is he just kind of trying to build up for a head coaching position somewhere in the MAC? And then
it's not going to be Mike Sanford.
No, I'm saying, like, that's what Mike Sanford did. He bounced from school to school every year. And then it was a Western Kentucky, and that didn't go well. He was the head coach.
Minnesota.
Yeah.
He was OC at – he went Boise State, Notre Dame, Minnesota Notre Dame, Western Kentucky, then Minnesota, then Colorado.
I don't know. He's like a media guy in Colorado now.
Yeah.
His poor family.
That might be his future. He's really good at the media stuff.
He is. He's got a good personality for sure.
Zaire Gaines and Breezy have potential. No, they're going to be absolute beasts. That's going to be a two-headed monster next year.
Don't forget Dylan Riley, and if we hang on to Brendan Haygood, I could see him getting some run next year for sure.
Yeah. I don't like people were saying on Twitter, where would Boise State be without Ashton Genty? Hypothetically, if we had a healthy Breezy, healthy Gaines, like I don't think we would fall off much at all. And that headed into next year, I don't think we're going to fall off much at all. It might look different because these guys have slightly different skill sets. Yeah. Breezy is very fast. Gaines can still kind of, I don't know, do that power run thing.
But he's got a lot of wiggle too, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to look a little bit different, but these guys are ballers. Like, it's going to be good.
And I don't know about Haygood. I know he's on a visit to Missouri today.
Yep.
But if he does leave, there's another young kid that I'll put out there just so that someday hopefully I can look back and say, hey, I got this right. His name's Greg Ard.
He visited Boise State today.
And I am going to be interviewing him within the next week or so.
Go watch his highlights.
Impressive.
Pretty impressive. Very under-recruited kid.
Genty-like.
Yeah.
Very patient. Not sure he has the top-end speed that Genty has, but he's an impressive player. So if Haygood does leave, which I hope he doesn't, he's a heck of a player. I hope we take them both, personally.
I think they're going to try.
I think, but he would not be at all a bad backup plan, if you want to call it that. I don't even think you should consider it that.
I feel like there's a drag race right outside my house. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Sorry, like someone is revving an engine.
No, can't hear it. But
okay. Well, I'm glad that's not pop. That's not.
Guys, do we want to discuss the Genty Travis Hunter Heisman situation?
Hunter's going to win, I think.
I'm with you. Unfortunately, I think it's a popularity contest. And they're always going to heavily favor the P4 player.
He shouldn't. I thought it was ironic that maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this was incorrect and I'm hearing the wrong thing. But is it true that he wasn't even on the Thorpe Award Watch finalist list? as one of the top defensive backs in the nation. That would be hilarious because that's like his calling card. He plays both ways and he's so good both ways, but yet he's not on the finalist list for the Thorpe Award.
Here we go. First headline: Deion Sanders disagrees with Thorpe Award finalists.
So, not on the Thorpe Award, but Heisman.
Okay. Honestly, I would rather see Dylan Gabriel get it.
Me too.
For Travis Hunter.
Me too. Yeah, I think Dylan Gabriel. I think Genty should win, but I think Dylan Gabriel deserves it more than Travis Hunter.
Colorado has to be the most self-satisfied, abysmal program in the country right now.
Yeah,
like they're not even a group of 5 program. They're like group of poo for all time. They haven't accomplished anything. And now all of a sudden they get a few good transfers. They have one good season under their big name coach. And here we are.
Well, it's interesting because J&T's had the best year of a running back since 1988, right? And really Travis Hunter's had the best two-way season since Woodson at Michigan back in the day. It's just hard to see what Genty's done. Maybe I'm biased and not say like, oh, for sure. That guy has to win the Heisman. His numbers compared to the other running backs who've won the Heisman over the past few years, he's way well above what those guys put up. He's not the front runner. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I wrote a column for Bronco Country that I think it was posted. Was it Tuesday? I think is when Kevin posted it. I said, if we're being intellectually honest, Genty should win the Heisman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
but the Deion Sanders hype train and with Travis Hunter, I think that's momentum seems to be favoring things going that direction the last.
And I know,
unfortunately,
it's not looking this way, not even close. But my God, do I want to play Colorado in the playoff?
That would be nice.
They should have lost Kansas.
Yeah, I want Colorado. Like I would even let's go to Colorado. I want Colorado at Colorado.
That would be sweet.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. Yeah. Go to Boulder.
Yeah, like cold weather doesn't mean anything. We're like, this is Boise State. We see snow all the time. They won't have a weather advantage.
Well, and it's hard for me. Like, who's the best player on Colorado's team? I don't think it's Travis Hunter. Yeah, it's Sanders. It's not Travis Hunter.
No. I was actually talking to somebody about. I'm surprised that they haven't tried to flip that and make Shedeur the Heisman.
Yeah.
Especially with it being Deion Sanders. They're the most self-centered family in the entire world. And I saw that he was he's going to win like some quarterback award for the most high character quarterback. I'm just sitting here going, have you listened to anything about him or his family? I mean,
yeah.
And maybe I'm wrong, and I know they I'm sure they do some good stuff in the community and all that, but yeah, it doesn't look good.
I'm with you guys. I don't want to talk bad about anyone, but it's not a good look for college football when the best player is not the one who's going to win the Heisman.
Yeah.
All right. It's not a good look for college football in general.
You can just hype train your way to. I mean, we might as well.
Business. Yeah, you're right, Liam.
Yeah, we might as well just give it to Kim Kardashian if we're going to let hype and nothingness dictate the Heisman.
I did not expect Kim Kardashian to be brought up in this post-game show, guys. That is
here we are
on my bingo card.
Well, it's Deion Sanders is like the Kim Kardashian of college football. He won't shut up.
Yeah. And we always got, no matter what happens, we always got to get a comment from Deion and see what he's got to say about it, no matter what happens or where it happens.
Yeah. No, if there was any justice in the world, it would be Ashton Genty. I am not holding my breath, and I'm more just hoping it's more Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Design plays room just to get hype. Yeah.
Which actually, is there anyone else that you guys think besides those 3 guys are in the mix for the Heisman that will get votes?
Cam Ward will get some votes.
Has he I've seen his Heisman hype or Heisman train kind of fallen off.
It's fizzled for sure, and that has to do with the team losing, which I don't know why it hasn't done that for Colorado as well, but it's fizzled just based on the team not doing super great. He's still putting up good numbers. Cam Mortis.
Yeah. All right. Well, unless there's anything else, I think, gentlemen, this might be a good time to wrap things up. But what I'll have for everyone in the comments section, just give your final thoughts on today's game, and gentlemen, I'll have you guys give some final thoughts too, but leave some meat on the bone for the podcast.
Always.
So, Chris, you were there. Like, what's your final thought? Not just on the game, but then being able to experience it down on the blue turf and see the emotion, see everything.
Excited that we're playing at home next week. I think it's going to be an amazing atmosphere. In the past for these Mountain West Championship games, the attendance has been not great. Simply because in the past, season tickets holders didn't automatically get the opportunity to buy their ticket again. And that's something that Jeremiah Dickey has changed. So give him credit for that. Excited. Ashton Jeanty looked the healthiest he's looked in
a long
time. No brace. Looked amazing. The offensive line is getting healthy. The defense is the defense. You're gonna give up some passes. It's gonna happen. It's fine. It is what it is. I wish we had blitzed a little bit more. I think personally, I think Tubner not being there is affecting that.
I actually had that written down. That's some of the meat on the bone I was gonna say for
sorry, guys.
When we do the podcast.
I mean, does Tubner affect it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, excited. I feel actually really good about next week. I was nervous about today, especially after watching Tulane last night, which that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Who's that guy, Canal or whoever said that was Tulane?
Oh yeah, Danny. Is it Canal?
Canal. He's but that was hilarious. So excited. If you haven't, go get your tickets for the game. It's going to be a great experience. 6 o'clock kickoff. It's not going to be super late. Let's go.
Yeah.
Josh says most improved since the last 3 games. Yeah.
Yep.
That was gonna be my take, is that there were still some warts and some things that didn't work out, but there was really, really good momentum going forward into next weekend.
Yeah.
With the O-line playing better, with Jeanty looking good. With I know we kind of crapped on Camper a little bit for dropping that one ball, but he made some tough catches later in that game.
Yeah.
So momentum going in the right direction. Some things to work on still, but momentum going in the right direction. That's what I was happy to see.
And I think. Go ahead.
Real quick for mentioning Camper, it made me think about this. He had that Madsen threw to him in the end zone, and he got caught and he kind of did a flip. Did y'all see that play?
Yeah.
He was in my arms. I could have caught him. I would have hurt myself and probably had to be carried off the field. He was right there, and
would have gone down grabbing your back.
He hit. My back's already hurting. He hit so hard.
Oof.
It was ridiculous. So anyway, sorry. I said remember that.
I was just gonna say my final thought is Bronco Nation. You guys did such a great job today with the false start penalties.
Yep.
Filling that stadium. Got to do that again. And I got into a funny little argument earlier this week with a Boise State fan who was going to watch the game from Barbacoa instead of going. So I was like, no. This is your last chance to see Ashton Jeanty. Get your butt in the stadium. Get some hand warmers. Get a blanket or whatever. It'll be a little chilly, whatever. You guys got this. You showed out amazingly today. Do it again.
Also, restaurants don't want you sitting there for 3.5 hours. Come on.
Yeah. Unless you just keep buying stuff.
Yeah. Can't wait for the championship next week. After that, let's go get a natty.
I love that. I like the way you think, Liam. And I think, you know what? I don't think you can end on a better note. Let's go get that natty.
I do have one more little promo real fast.
Oh, okay.
I got a couple interviews with recruits already set on the YouTube page. Go watch those. And then tomorrow morning, Gavin Packard and I are sitting down and chatting. Wide receiver out of Washington. And then the lightning bolt himself, Quentin Brown, on Monday. So be looking out for those interviews coming up.
All right. Well, all right, viewers, thank you so much for joining this live stream, Oregon State victory. I hope you all have a wonderful long weekend, and we will see you soon. Go Broncos.
Go Broncos.